guys all know my beautiful blue refrigerator. Well, it stopped working. And I think what happened is the Freon, it's got a leak in the Freon. So the company I bought it from, guys coming out tomorrow to give it a little look-see and figure out what we have to do from there. Hopefully they'll be able to fix the leak, refill the Freon, and it will work. But if it doesn't, then we'll have to go to Howdy ho, my peeps. All right, so Gracie and I are out here. We're ripping up the carpet and scraping up the old glue. And I just wanted to give you guys a little look-see at what that process is. So Grace is she's behind the camera now and she's gonna show you. So we have to hit it with a utility knife to break up some of the carpet. Then we have this scraper dealie. It's really a nail puller, but it works well. And once you get it started, then it just pulls up like so. Then you can see we've got this glue that's still stuck to the floor, but it's not stuck very well. So it comes up pretty easily with the nail puller. Don't have to use any chemical to release the glue or anything like that. It just comes up. And once we have it all kind of scraped a little bit and vacuumed and all that, then I'll go back over, and any place there's something that's a little too high, I'll scrape it down. But we're going to be putting plank flooring, wood flooring in here. So I've already got it, and yeah, that's going to be our answer. I'm going to take the phone from Gracie. Well, it's the next day. Gracie and I worked out in the Airstream for about, maybe an hour and a half, but oh man, it was so humid. I am just not used to humid. I mean, you don't get humid here in California usually, but dang it, the past week has been really miserable. Miserable in part because our cooling system is a swamp cooler, as you guys know. No AC or HVAC or any of that. And in humid weather, swamp coolers don't work very well. So we're all walking around sopping wet and complaining. And, really feeling love in our hearts for all our southern and East Coast and Midwest friends who go through bad humidity in the summer. Anyhow, so we worked out there for a while longer. We all came in and kind of fell out. We didn't do much. Grant's been doing a lot of little repairs though. All of a sudden, all this little stuff's been happening. You need windshield wipers. The sweep on underneath the front door fell off. He did an installation. He installed the windows on the Airstream. That was a long drawn out process because instead of using glass or ordering original replacements, we used Lexan. We had some Lexan left over from another job, and then I picked up a big piece for the large back window. So that stuff it's hard to cut, and we can't really get inside the windows to put it where the glass used to be. He managed to do that on the big one, but on the little side window, we had to just slap it up on the outside, hit it with a bunch of silicone, rivet it on, and hope for the best. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure it will be watertight, but it's not a restoration or anything. So we've been working on that. The hardest part was taking off the protective film that comes on both sides of the Lexan. The new piece we bought, that came off pretty well, wasn't too hard. But this old piece, who knows how old this is, the film was just stuck. I couldn't get it off with a razor blade. I finally ended up, ran hot water over it. That kind of helped. I finally got out my steam iron and I sat over there with my steam iron going, and I would run that thing back just right up against the Lexan. I didn't even pull it back. Just heating that up as much as I could for about maybe 5 seconds. And then I was able to peel it off, but it came off slowly and it was still real sticky. It probably took me an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes to pull it off of a 1 foot by 2 foot piece. So I did, though. It was kind of cool. It was almost like, watching a pimple popping video. Every little bit that came off felt very satisfying. And Grant and I are home alone, rattling around, getting some stuff done. Today I've decided to bake, and I'm going to be baking cookies that I hate. This is a let's bake treats that I won't eat day. And that's anything that's got raisins, coconut, walnuts, fig. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Well, I was online looking for cookie recipes, and I came across an Italian cookie recipe that uses a filling that's all that stuff. Raisins and nuts and figs and coconut and all this stuff that I absolutely cannot stand. So I'm really thrilled. I'm going to make up a huge batch of that. I'm going to take some over to my son, and I'll put some in the freezer, and Grant and Gracie will eat some, so that'll be cool. But before I do that, I'm going to make a peanut butter oatmeal cookie that's got fruit and nuts in it. So that's my strategy for coming up with treats for my loved ones that I won't annihilate in one sitting. So we'll see how that goes. I'm never smart enough to bring all my ingredients out, but today I did. I cleared off my butcher block, and I have all the possible cookie ingredients and snack cake ingredients that I might be wanting to use. Yesterday, Gracie and we have found this big old bag of pistachios with shells. It was like 4 times the size of this thing, and we sat here in the kitchen and we shelled all those pistachios and put them in here. She and Grant both like to eat these just plain as a snack, so they've got that ready for them. And yeah, so I'm going to get to it. I've got everything out. I've got a bunch of eggs out. I have my scale, my dry ingredients and wet ingredients, and I am now going to go to town on baking things I won't eat. So this is another project I'm working on right now. I have, this thing incidentally is full of dried beans. It's so heavy I can't lift it, so I'm going to push it into place. Anyhow, I am pulling out all of the super survival foods. The stuff that if a bomb hits our house or it burns down, we'll still have some food outside in one of the metal containers. So that's going to be this rice, this wheat that is whole wheat, all of the stuff you see down here came out of there. This is all the freeze-dried. And I think since I don't actually use the freeze-dried, I just have it as I don't know, just in case. That all needs to go outside in a metal container. So that'll be fine. I have so much of this. I don't know what to do with it outside of making cookies and snack cakes for other people. It's these fig pieces. My gosh, I wish I could send stuff for free, because any of you guys that wanted fig pieces, I would send you a container of that, but I don't. We can't. Wah. That container is full of pasta. I still have quite a bit more. I have to start using the pasta. Grant does not like pasta, but he doesn't hate it, but it's not like the thing he really wants. But you can see, boy, I have got to make some room in here so that I can keep the stuff we actually use and put the other stuff in a more of a long-term storage kind of sitch. So yeah, that's another thing I need to finish, is getting everything stowed away correctly and get this room back to being functional. So I figured I would finish showing you guys my my little project over here. I think I uploaded some video about scrubbing down all of my cupboards on the bottom and relining them with new shelf paper, blah, blah, blah. I went through these boxes, I cleaned them, I relined them, and put everything back that was supposed to be there. So it's all perfect. Problem was, these are wooden boxes, and when I pull them out, they tend to scrape this stuff up, and I figured they would destroy it. Also, in order to pull the bottom one out, I couldn't get my fingers up under here, and I was always struggling. So I ordered from D Lawless Hardware, which is my dream hardware store online. I ordered these beautiful little pinkish amber knobs, okay, and I had Grant install them. So now when I need to get into, let's say, this box. Oh, the other thing I did is I put some very, very thin Teflon stickers on this stuff, not on the box itself, but on the shelf paper. And the boxes sit right on the thing. So check this out. I can pull this out very easily. Doesn't scratch anything. I can get into it. And, you know, there we go. And obviously, I can do it to this one as well. This one is quite heavy, so what I may end up doing is putting some Teflon on the box itself, because it's heavy enough that this falls forward, so when I pull it out, it has a tendency to catch. So I need to be kind of careful. But you can see the little Teflon pad down there, and they're all along down there underneath the box. So anyhow, done and done. I'm really thrilled to have this thing finally reorganized and more functional than it was the last time I messed with it. So here are the fruits of my labor. I have 3 kind of snack cake things. They're all in a spiced applesauce cake base, and in it I have folded in a bunch of chopped up apple, and then all kinds of fruits and nuts, things that I detest, so I won't go anywhere near those. Then over here I've got more snack cakes, and these have a topping of all those crusty things, and they're in the applesauce cake, so these are more of like a coffee cake. And then in my dehydrator I am drying the icing on, oh, and it's nice and dry, I can turn this off now, on a bunch of cookies that are essentially the same flavor as all this stuff. An apple spice base with a ton of fruits and nuts and things that I detest, so that I will not want to wrap my little chompers around them and mindlessly eat. I really need to take these steps, just completely take them down. Let me show you what happened. First of all, this one is a little bit, put that down. This is just a little bit soft, not too bad. But this top one, oh boy, that is soft. I can see that thing moving. So I try to put my feet just where there are nails, because I know that there's a support under there, and it's good. Problem is, some random person coming up the walk is not going to know that. So I feel it's my little voice again, people. I'm going to turn this around. It's my little voice telling me, Cheryl, you best take care of that soon. So I'm going to listen. I think tomorrow, if nothing else, I'm going to put yellow caution tape up there and say do not walk on these steps. tear them down as soon as possible. I've got everything I need to fix them decently. I've got all kinds of concrete block in different sizes. I've got the mortar mix sitting right here on my front porch. I have everything I need. So, I mean, I even have tile to mosaic the risers. So I've got it. I just need to do it. Boy, it seems like every day some 3/4 of a day long project lands in my lap. And they're all going on at the same time, and they're all intense, and they all require physical labor, and they're all kind of slow going. I'm gonna wipe my face. Ugh. Yeah, so yeah, I wish I could clone myself. It's so many things I want to be doing, especially this time of year, because it's not 110 out. It is humid, but it's in the 80s. So now is a really good time to get out and do all the stuff you need to do in the fall. All the little, the little repairs and everything. I've got some fencing that's falling down, and just all of that. I drug a bunch of bricks over. I'm going to turn this around so you can see my bricks. See my bricks? I think you can see them. You can see them that way. Okay, so I had, did Jose bring them? Yeah. I had Jose bring all of those around and stick them in my front yard because I'm going to expand the footprint of my hardscape. I talked about that earlier, maybe in this video, or it might have been the last video. I talked about that assembly bill that passed in 2022 that requires that anyone in a fire zone, which we are, move anything flammable at least 5 feet away from the perimeter of your house. So that means I don't know if that means decking. I bet it does. I bet people are going to have to rip out decking. I don't know. But they expressly listed landscaping and plants. So I really only have 2 plants that are up against my house. I've got a struggling rose that's completely gone back to its rootstock roses. That's all that grows on it anymore, but I like rootstock, so that's okay. And then I have my Banksia rose right here. Dang thing only blooms once a year anyway. So if I had to pull out either one of those, like in the middle of the winter, cut them back almost to the ground, dig them out and move them somewhere else or give them away or whatever, I could do that. That's not a problem. Other than that, I don't have anything up against my house that's flammable. I've done mostly hardscape all the way around my place. If it's not concrete or brick, it's asphalt. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. But still, that's another big project I need to think about. So that's why I brought the brick over. I wanted to make my hardscape go out even further. I just got back from the hardware store, and where granted I had to get some screws to fix this project, but we also raided the recycle paint bin that's out the back of our local Ace Hardware. And it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of say to the lady behind the counter, "Hey, you got any paint?" She looks up, looks around, kind of whispers back, "I'll get somebody." And so you meet some dude back behind the building, and he takes the top off this nondescript, big old, huge cardboard case, and inside is an absolute treasure trove of recyclable paint. And you can take anything you want. They don't charge you. So I completely filled my trunk, which I will show you here. Plus, I got a full 5-gallon container of some kind of latex. I don't know if it's interior or exterior, it does not matter. I'm going to mix everything together, and whatever color comes out, that is going on the exterior of my house, because I am super cheap and I do not want to spend any money on this. Okay, so I just went down to the hardware store because Grant and I needed to get some screws for our Airstream project, and they had all of this paint that they were giving away. They keep it all in the back. It's stuff people brought back for recycling. I made sure I shook it to make sure it was liquid and blah blah blah, because some of it has dried out. This contractor grade, whatever it is full of some kind of tan colored paint. I don't know if it's interior, exterior, it doesn't really matter to me. So yeah, I scored big time. And while I'm out here showing you the paint, I think I need to show you something that to most other people would be like, oh, yay, it's so pretty. And to me, all I see is unseasonable weed eating having to be done. Look at that. It is September in the Central Valley of California. It is supposed to be hot. It is supposed to be dry. It is supposed to be a good 2 months away from the next rain. But oh no, not this year. This year we have green coming up everywhere. So we've got more rain in the forecast, possibly for late tonight, early tomorrow, we don't know. And that will just make all of this green even taller, even greener, and even thicker. So, who the heck knows? There's more of it over there. Oh, the dreaded green. More green! Now, if I were a smart coyote, I would saddle up my hula hoe and I would get out here and just do a little scrapey for, 10 minutes in the morning, and that will scrapey down the green, because it's all, well, can you see it? Yeah. It's all just beginning to come out, but it is coming out. And that gives me anxiety and makes me want to breathe heavy. Front yard's looking pretty though. So, there you go. That's yet another big, huge project, which I probably will never finish. But, that's me. So anyhow, if you're all still here tomorrow on the 25th, discuss among yourselves. We can get back together and talk about it. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.